Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. If you're a crew here, I appreciate your subscribe. We're on the road to 15K, and because of you, we're closer today. So share this content with those you want to see on the other side of this simulation by pressing the like button. Do it for the algo. That way I'll grow, and let's watch these clips.
Stephen Hawking was not a real person. He was a character. Tell me if you think that anything about this is real.
Stephen, when did you first realize you wanted to be a physicist?
I think I knew from about the age of 9 or 10 that I wanted to be a scientist.
Okay, when the guy asked him, he said,
Stephen, when did you first realize you wanted to be a physicist?
Right there. I could tell he probably said, well, now check this out.
I think I knew from about the age of 9 or 10.
When the dude said, I think I knew from the age of 9 or 10, it seems like Stephen Hawking said, bitch, I didn't say that. He's staring at the camera like, this is my wife's brother. He just got hired a week ago.
That I wanted to be a scientist. Most of my activities, like playing with model fireworks, or model railways, or playing complicated games, was aimed in some way at finding out how the...
Look how you looking at him. He like, stop lying, bitch. Look at this nigga. He like, Lord Jesus, please just let my limbs work. Let me get a hold of this motherfucker so I can wring out his fucking neck.
Okay, guys, we can all see that this is not real at all. It was normalized by Han Solo and Chewbacca. As you can see there, on the left is Han Solo, and on the right is Chewbacca. No one understands the grunting and gurgling, but somehow Han Solo, with his he has the same haircut as Han Solo, and he's alleged to be a very handsome Larry Bird guy. There is no way that the gurgling, and this is why the internet changed the entire game with scams. Is back in the day, a lot of people were not exposed to people that treat people with ALS or a lot of these ailments. Is that possible? Is that actual speech? Of course not. That's legitimately insane. And this guy cheated on his wife. He didn't exist, Matt. That's my point. He was Helen Keller 2.0. There's no extremities. Helen Keller had a British accent, even though she couldn't hear.
Hey, this is Editing Adonis from the future saying, that's an interesting point. You speak like you're spoken to. How do you know what their British accent sounds like if you can't hear it being spoken to you?
It is not blindness or deafness that brings me my darkest hours.
It is not blindness or deafness that bring me my darkest hours.
Longingly I think how much more good I might have done if I had only acquired natural speech.
Longingly I feel how much more good I could have done if I had acquired normal speech.
How is that possible, you ask yourself? Well, it isn't possible. Let's just take another look at this, and then we'll discuss something called empathy vampires. And again, there's going to be people that say, how dare you laugh at a cripple?
We're not laughing at Stephen Hawking. We're laughing at this nigga trying to trick you into believing he can understand this nigga. No, are you trolling me? You don't understand. Shut the fuck up or I'll punch you in the side of your fucking head. That's the problem. Motherfuckers don't have the consequence of getting their ass kicked. That shit is totally gone. If a nigga knew you was just gonna grab him by his throat and just shut the fuck up, nigga. Niggas wouldn't talk so much. He would have kept it 100 and he'd have been like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this nigga said. He answering you. I don't know what the fuck he said though. Editing Adonis from the future again. I know you're saying to yourself, whatever, weird. I know, but how can everything that we learned be a lie, but then this be the truth? Didn't we learn this? Somehow this is the truth. I swear you dudes, you pick and choose what you want to believe, what is and isn't a lie, and what you won't believe. It's either history is a lie or history is not a lie. Which one you want?
What you're watching is a scam. That's not an authentically diseased person. And if it is, they're using him. It's kind of like what they did with Greta Thundertug and David Hogg. They'll use children as human shields to front their agendas. And then when you attack them, they go, how dare you attack a child? Well, why did you put a child on CNN? So I believe that Stephen Hawking was alive with ALS for about 5 years. That's typically how long. I think he was a real person. I think he had it. And I think that people saw that for some reason, more of the masses were listening to a guy because of his disease than if he had a faster mind, because it degenerates the mind and the ability to communicate. So then they used his brand.
Yes, Stephen Hawking is a brand. When you look at it through that lens, I mean, think about it. We've only been, I don't know, maybe the last 20 years or so, 16, 17 years, been looking at ourselves like you're a brand. What did Jay-Z say? I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. But how long have they, the elites, been looking at each individual person like it's a brand? Speaking of which, you know that a corporation is a person, right? Legally speaking, a corporation is a human being. Google it if you don't got nothing else to do. Let me do it for you. So when people say, how in the heck did this person get all those votes? The corporation is voting for them. Allegedly.
Probably a puppet, guys. I don't know. Someone playing the role. I don't know. But guys, this isn't actual translation.
Is it so far-fetched to think that this is not a person, knowing the technology that we have now, also knowing our government has had technologies that they're giving us today for 30, 40 years before they gave it to us? Is it so far-fetched to think that this is an animatronic? I'm insensitive, but you know everything in history is a lie. But this is the truth, but everything else in history was a lie.
Vote for who because we love sneakers?
This is connecting with Black America because they love sneakers. They're into sneakers. They love this is a big deal.
Isn't he race baiting because he said black people? Well, let's keep going.
So when you have Trump roll out his sneaker line, they're like, wait a minute, this is cool. He's reaching them on a level that defies and is above politics.
That's weird because when Trump first got elected, I heard hillbillies will not only take themselves to vote, they'll take 12 of their friends to vote with them.
The culture always trumps politics, and Trump understands culture.
Interesting uses of the word Trump.
Question for you on that point, though.
Yeah.
Will the people that are excited about the sneakers and excited about Donald Trump, will that translate into them going out and voting for Donald Trump?
Well, anybody willing to put $400 down for a pair of sneakers? Yeah, I think that's commitment and love.
It's
something.
You're right.
Number one, we not gonna ignore the way they've criminalized diversity, equity, and inclusion. Plus, these shoes is ugly.
This poor, stupid Negro. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are synonyms for gay and ugly. If you didn't know, it's the ugly bitches versus the pretty bitches. Yes, the ugly bitches have declared war on pretty women. That's why the Marvels made $47 million and Barbie made $1 billion. Pretty girls always outshine the ugly bitches. And the ugly hoes are just mad that no one wants to open the door for them because they're ugly. No one wants to ask them, hey, what are you drinking? We don't care as men. Nor do women care about ugly bitches. This is what my wife told me. Pretty girls try to be friends with the ugly girls, but the ugly girls always get offended when the pretty girls are getting all this extra attention. More guys than the ugly girls are accustomed to be trying to carry their books to school, open up doors for them, pull out chairs for them. Think about it, man. You ain't opening a door for no ugly bitch. You might hold the door open because you just a good guy, but that bitch better hurry the fuck up. I ain't just holding this door. But a pretty girl, we might just... we're slick. We'll hold the door open in such a way that it don't look like we're trying to get a little look at you. A gentleman's eye grope, if you will. What do that have to do with anything? They have to put black people on these movements to make them cool. You don't give a fuck about ugly bitches. Nobody does. But if we say, oh, it's to include black people. Oh, we need the diversity of black people. Oh, black people need equity. Now, it's different. And that's the creepy part, that a lot of us black people don't even realize we're being used as a tool for their weird shit. Allegedly. Everything I say is alleged. That being said, the powers that be always gotta put black people in front of these movements to make you, viewer, accept it more. You wouldn't accept this LGBTQ stuff. Not like that. Not the way they want you to accept it, but they put black people in front of it. Just like black lesbians matter. You don't care what white lesbians think, but black lesbians, oh man, now I gotta act like I care because racism and this, and my grandfather was an evil fucking, you see what I'm saying?
Number 2, outside of Candace Owens and the rest of the Blexit Brigade, who do you think is going to be interested in the air fraud ones, the January 6s? They gold, red, white, and blue. No. Number 3, ain't no way in hell y'all think the January 6s, the air fraud ones, is going to make us forget about how y'all have bastardized the concept of being woke that come from our culture and community. In the same sentence, you're talking about how this man is so equipped of understanding culture.
Again, this guy doesn't understand woke has been infused, switched, hijacked to mean gay. Let's add some lesbianism in there. Not the cool lesbianism, your wife and she brings her friend over after work and you guys have a few drinks. No.
Have you ever heard of the term adult attracted minor, or AIM? Where did it originate from and what does it entail? The term was coined in reference to a legal minor who is sexually or romantically attracted to a person or persons who are legal adults. As commonly used, this can refer to preferential, non-preferential, or indeed ephemeral attractions. This term, AIM, is likely to have emerged out of the publicity surrounding the term minor attracted person, or MAP, and the MAP flag during the period of 2018 to 2019. But did you know this term had been used even earlier? On some web forums dating as far back as 2002. Moreover, the term AIM was also used by the Pedalogues podcast broadcaster Rookie, who referred to it as a mirror image of minor attracted adult on his blog Paiderastia in May 2006.
Yeah. Doesn't that bring a little bit more clarity to this?
Number 4, Fox News was engaging in textbook pathological race hustling and race baiting, talking about some black people gonna vote for us because they love sneakers. If you're willing to pay $400 for the sneakers, of course you're a vote for them.
Yeah, that was race baiting, but this whole thing is not about race. This whole thing is about keeping us separated. You gotta keep them separated so they can do their dirty work while we are arguing with each other over pennies and nonsense. So please don't think that I'm on some black people are and white people are. No. All of this thing is a spiritual war, and this is just to keep us wrapped up in a bunch of nonsense so we don't realize the spirituality.
Let's talk about the genetic admixture of Brazilians. With more than 200 million inhabitants, Brazil is the largest and most populous country in Latin America. It borders all South American countries except Ecuador and Chile. The vast majority of Brazilians can trace their ancestry to 3 main populations. Native Amerindians, who inhabited the area when Portuguese conquistadores arrived in the Americas.
Portuguese are white.
European immigrants, mainly from Portugal, Italy and Germany, as well as African slaves. European admixture is the highest in southern states, while African admixture is the highest in the northeast. Brazilians with the most South Amerindian ancestry are found in the northern region. The average Brazilian is roughly 68% European, 20% sub-Saharan African, and 12% native South Amerindian.
Yeah, because Americans don't know that the Spaniards, they're white. There are no Spaniards in America, so that's probably why they don't know. But shout out to my international fam who knows that's a European country. People from Spaniards are white, dude. That's white folks.
This is a crazy story. Have you ever heard about Amy Eskridge? She was a NASA engineer. People are speculating online that she was assassinated because she blew the whistle on anti-gravity technology and time travelers from the future.
That's not why she was killed. She probably was killed because she wouldn't give one of these weird niggas some. Let's not forget, man. I'm a man. Men, we're doing shit for fucking women. That's just... Stop the fucking cap. I mean, if you're a straight man, you trying to get some... That's just what it is. She probably got assassinated because she was going to tell, these niggas keep trying to fucking assault me, and I don't want to fuck him. He's ugly, he's gross, he smells weird. I'm good. That's probably more likely why she got assassinated. I'm not saying that other shit doesn't exist. I'm saying is a motivator for these simp, weird, creepy niggas.
I want to know who sees my TikToks, so like my video and leave a comment of where you're from.
You don't think these weird dudes would do whatever it takes to smell this girl's booty hole? Look at these guys. Hi, I'm from this place. I'm from that place. She's not talking to none of these guys. She didn't like none of their comments. Women, just like you know women, and I'm not arguing with you, men, we know men. Especially these weird loser dudes who give us good guys bad names. That's why I put these weird creepy niggas in here. I'll do anything for her, except let her live.
Crazy shit, man.
Was this a video you're gonna show me?
They are you. They are me. They're from here.
from the future. P47 is present plus 47,000 years. P52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity, right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface and miraculously don't die.
Well, you're only gonna die if the Almighty wills for you to die. But all mankind will die. Even the people underground, they're gonna die too. The creepy part is they already know that they're gonna die. Why do you think they want to live 150 years or so? They know what's waiting for them on the other side of the simulation. That's why you hope that there's a God. That's when you're gonna get your lick back. You can say, he did this and this and this and that to me, Almighty. And the Almighty will say, well, is that true? Did you do it? And the person's very limbs will testify against him. Yeah, he did that. And now you gotta give that person your good deeds. Ain't it fucked up? Allegedly. That's what I heard. Allegedly.
So you're telling me that this chick made that video in 2022 and was suicided?
Look, here's another video to give you a little bit more context.
Let me tell you, I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. I know I've said that several times. We're the Rocket City. We're the biggest steal you've never heard of.
See, she's attractive for these Stephen Hawking niggas. She's a dime piece to them. And she don't want to fuck this weird nigga. But you know these evil fucks. You don't want to give me some... I'll kill you, bitch.
Von Braun was here and we won the space race. We developed the Saturn V here. We built the Saturn V here. We won the space race here in Alabama, whether you've heard of it or not. And I can tell you for a fact, so many prototypes. So many prototypes. Only prototype built like this in the world. You turn it on the first time, it works exactly like you thought it would the first time. Great data. You apply for more funding to test it more thoroughly, they cancel it. It goes to NASA divestment. It goes to the auction block. People bid on it. And literally scrap metal vendors win the bid and melt it down for scrap metal and sell it. We could be crazy, crazy, crazy far. We could be on the moons of Jupiter. We could be exploring Pluto if we had spent money differently. I can tell you the names of so many NASA scientists that are depressed and they want to kill themselves because they have built prototype after prototype after prototype in Huntsville, Alabama. First in the world, never before seen, worked the first time you turned it on exactly like you thought. It was canceled and melted down for scrap metal.
I'm saying that we are suffering because as a people, we are the most identical in terms of DNA to the Most High.
My theory is black people look the most like Adam, and the devil himself has a vendetta against black people because we remind him the most of the very first man. It's just my theory. So that's gonna rustle some feathers, and let me break it down. According to Arabs, Adam, the reds and the blacks. According to Arabic language, Adam is the color of the Arabs, and it is sumra in men. Sometimes the color Adam alone can be intended to mean aswad. I didn't know Adam was a color in Arabic. Let's keep going. Aswad. Aswad means black in Arabic language. Black is associated with power, luxury, elegance, but can also mean professionalism, neutrality, and simplicity. I mean, if everything in history is a lie, especially as a black person, can you see why it would be so important for you to think Muslims are terrible? Oh, I forgot. KKK members, they're Christians. Yeah, what did you think WASP stood for? Yeah, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. You didn't know that? Yeah, why do you think they were burning the crosses in front of the... Yeah, that's to say you're not a part of our thing. But I'm pushing racism. Come on now, dog. Come on now, man. Come on back to Jesus. Come on. Yes. 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 Yes, it's true. Boo-hoo-hoo. I'm just fucking with you, white boys. God damn, man. No, but seriously, your grandparents are racist, though. Yeah, they were at that lynchings. They were there. Come on now. Your great-grandparents was there. And you know they were.
And this whole thing about protein. You're eating animals for protein, but that very same animal get its protein from plants. You're telling me that you can't use your common sense to figure that out? Where does the animal get the protein from? So why don't you go and get your protein from the plants as well? Why are you trying to get it from a second source? Your body is made up of what? Minerals, not proteins. Your body is made up of minerals, not proteins. This should be common sense. What is your bones made up of? Isn't your bones made up of calcium? Isn't calcium a mineral? Isn't your blood made up of iron? Is your bones made up of calcium or protein? These are the people who went to school. You see what I'm talking about, school? School literally takes away people's ability to express independent thought. They literally come out more dumber. They just believe that they're smart because they got their name on a piece of paper called a degree.
We know that's true because during the course of watching these creepy talks, we've run into the Rockefellers and how they remixed the school to basically be an employee factory.
So everything that you learn from kindergarten all the way into college is actually the Flexner report. Flexner, Carnegie, and the Rockefeller family came together with a bunch of scientists and a bunch of psychologists, and they said, we're going to create education. So whenever you learn anything in a public school system, you are being taught. You sitting on John D. Rockefeller lap, you acting like he your grandpa, and he giving you game on how he wants you to be ran. Now check this out. This is his famous quote. He said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of what? Workers. So you go to school to become a worker. Who you working for? The pharmaceutical companies.
Oh yeah, college? That's an employee factory. You don't think it's strange that all the millionaires and billionaires dropped out of school? Remember what Zeep said on Rick and Morty?
Your people have a holiday named Rick's Giving. They teach kids about me in school.
I dropped out of school. It's not a place for smart people.
Your body is made up of minerals, not proteins. When you eat natural foods, what do you get? Phytonutrients and the minerals. Why are you so worried about protein? Because them niggas program that into your brain. Notice, everything is about protein. You know, or somebody see you, oh bro, where do you get your protein from? The same place where the animal that you ate got the protein from. Duh, isn't plants the source of protein? So why are you worried about protein? Eat the plants that the creator designed for you to eat. Simple. I don't see the elephant worrying about no fucking protein. I don't see the rhino worrying about no protein. I don't see the deers worrying about no protein. I don't see the cows worrying about no protein. I don't see the gorilla worrying about no protein. Only you worried about protein because you went to school.
Why do we stay away from food and drink during Ramadan, during the daylight? Because Allah instructed. Later on, the health benefits and all those are perks. That's not the main aim. It's a perk.
Here's what I want to know. If Muslims and Christians dislike each other so much, why do Christians also fast? I think I remember Jesus fasted for 40 days. Was Jesus himself participating in Ramadan? And the Bible has been switched and changed and parts voted to be taken out so much that it's been changed from he was fasting for Ramadan? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I also think it's very strange that Muslim women are being oppressed, but Virgin Mary is dressed like a Muslim woman. Can someone explain that to me in the comments? Why is Virgin Mary dressed like a Muslim woman? It looks like she's wearing a hijab. But meanwhile, they're telling us Muslim women are being oppressed. They can't show everybody their breast and show their hair, and I don't know. Maybe it's some Muslims that's watching. Y'all could tell me. I'm not really sure.
The history we've all been taught is a massive lie. Before the civilization we have today, there was another civilization that's been hidden from us. The Tartarian Empire was a civilization that was far more advanced than us, but in a different way. They had harnessed the ability to use atmospheric energy. They incorporated it into all of their buildings and were able to create free energy for everyone at all times. They had also harnessed the power of frequencies and were able to build grand architecture by manipulating substances and moving huge rocks through vibration. Hence the Great Pyramids and many other unexplainable architectural anomalies that were created in the past. The free energy was a threat to the massive oil industry and all the profits they were able to generate from the scarcity of oil. So the owners of this industry, who were extremely powerful, created a plan to take out this civilization and wipe them from history so nobody would ever know about free energy. They destroyed all their architecture and technology and did their best to cover up any evidence that the Tartarians ever existed.
Never miss an opportunity to jump when you have the chance. Those who lack the courage to start are already finished. It's better to figure it out along the way than wait all your life for the perfect timing. Of course, determination and motivation can be hard when you're not sure of what the outcome will be, but it's better to try and fail than remain stagnant in one place for fear of failure. Remember, falling doesn't make you a failure. You only fail when you refuse to get up and try again.
This is why I know the chicken came first and not the egg, because Adam and Eve were created as adults. not children or babies. Just my theory.
I'm sorry. I just need 1 minute to make sure I look good. Do you think I look good, Mr. Armstrong?
No, because once you take all that shit off, you're going to go back to looking like a crackhead.
Do you know what happens if you pour honey over onions? Chances are your grandparents knew very well. They might have even made this remedy as it was common knowledge 70 years ago.
That's the creepy part. This was common knowledge 70 years ago. What is that? 1950s? And it's ingenious and diabolical that they was able to get this knowledge out of the public consciousness. So much so that we look at this shit like it's stupid. Oh, that's old people stuff.
The honey will begin to ferment and extract the onion's anti-inflammatory substances. Onions also contain allicin, a powerful natural antibiotic that is effective against throat and lung infections. Leave the jar on your kitchen counter. In about 12 hours, your medicinal syrup will be ready. You should make it at the first sign of a cold or flu, or if you're dealing with a stubborn cough. I'm sure you'll have no trouble getting a hold of the 2 ingredients. Take it by the teaspoon until symptoms subside. Onion syrup was just one of the home remedies that offered relief to our grandparents in the past. One day we might need these lost remedies again.
These niggas are lame, yo. Like, the men that are like actually amazing entrepreneurs and educated and financially, lit, y'all lame.
In 2011, it was reported that 72% of black babies were born to unmarried mothers. As of 2015, at 77.3%, black Americans have the highest rate of non-marital births among Native Americans. In 2016, 29% of African Americans were married, while 48% of all Americans were. Let me tell you how I hate this term African American. I've always hated it, because what part of Africa? That saying in and of itself is racist, because Africa is a continent. And it has over 50 different countries in it. Egypt is a country on the continent of Africa. Cameroon is a country on the continent of Africa. That would be like saying I'm North American. Well, what part? You from Mexico, Canada, or the United States? Even when you say I'm from the United States, which part? Are you from the West Coast or the East Coast? Oh, you from the South or the Midwest? Okay, what part of the East Coast are you from? Are you from New York? Are you from the Northeast? You from Maine? You see what I'm saying? But Africa, that's just where all the black people are. That's why I don't like that term African American. Argue with me in the comments about it, but it's a very racist term. And who came up with it? We didn't. Anyway, shout out to the brothers who have their passports, because my international fam, they're not on that. Here's another thing a lot of Americans don't know. Africans know like 5 languages minimum off rip. English is not even their first language. They just teach English in school. You got to know the language of your tribe. You got to know the language of your sister tribe. You probably got to know French, because the French are the white people of Africa. That's something else. This is not about race and black and white. This is about let's get through the simulation. It's not about race. It's about confidence. Shout out again to my international fam. They got way more confidence than Americans. Americans got fake confidence. You better know that's true. But I digress. Respectfully, brothers, it's creepy that the powers that be have trained this generation of women into thinking you should deal with whatever I dish out to you. Meanwhile, you as a man, basically be her slave. Why? For her box. Whenever you see me block somebody, it's one of these young kids who dad wasn't in their life. I don't want to be your dad. I don't want to be your mentor. Like, I'm not checking for you. Like, what was that thing called back in the days? The Boys and Girls Club, where you can go there and be some young kid's mentor and take him out and take him bowling and take him to the barbershop and take him out driving, kicking it. I don't want to do that with you. They want a mentor. Yeah, the YMCA. I don't want to be your big brother program. And it's not even because I'm lazy. It's because you're emotional. You don't know how to control your emotions. You're not really respectful. Your mother didn't teach you respect. Your mother herself don't got respect for men. So I don't want to be your mentor. And unfortunately, this woman from the last, I guarantee she got a kid or 2. And you got to be the mentor to her kid. It's creepy, dude. It's weird. A lot of men don't want to call it creepy, but you better believe women think that's creepy. They don't like them girls. They don't hang out with them. But those good women are rare, and they're becoming more and more rare as like every 5-10 years. The speeding up of time is a sign of the last days. We're living in the last days. I mean, if you look at the Bible will tell you that we're living in the last days. But then also the Jewish books, they say that we're living in the last days. The Muslims, they too say we're living in the last days. Whatever, man. Believe what you want to believe.
Believe it or not, this solution is worth over 20 grand. And let me show you why. First, I'm going to selectively drop the main element within this solution. I'm using sodium metabisulfite to create this precipitant. And once it settles, this is what I'm left with, this mud here. I go through a series of rinse procedures and I get it nice and clean. And right in the beaker, I slowly dry it off on low heat. It takes about an hour and eventually it starts to look like this. And what I'm left with is this beautiful, bright precipitant. So next, I'm going to pour it into a melt dish and we'll see what happens when I hit it with the torch. Now I got to be careful because this material is it's pretty expensive, so I'm taking my time here, even though it's sped up, but I'm taking my time here. I don't want to spill a single grain of it. Alright, let's take a look here at what happens to it. I hit it with the torch and we start to see a familiar shine. And that's because what we have here is freshly refined pure gold.
Now this is what I'm actually asking women, and that's why I played this clip. What guy who does this for a living wants to mess with you and your 2 or 3 kids? What guy wants to mess with you when you're 1 kid and your kid is hard-headed and emotional? The answer is none. So you're a future cat lady and the powers that be are grooming you. They have groomed you to be a cat lady. Don't you know what a groom is? What's the counterpart to a groom? A bride. Yes, you're married to the system, ho. Party and thought around, and at 40 years old, now you want a divorce from the system. No, you're still with the system because the system trained you. So let's say you get a divorce from your man, which is Uncle Sam. I gotta retrain you. Why would I do that?
And we're gonna have some fun with it here today. First thing I need to do is melt it down completely. And there's too much to fit in the melt dish right off the bat, so I had to melt some and then dump the rest in there. But the first thing I need to do is melt it down completely and turn it into shot. And we're about to do that right now. Here we go. Pour it into some nice ice water, and that creates these smaller chunky bits, which I need so I can take a precise measurement for our next step.
I just want to make mention of the vocabulary this guy is using. He was a fucking nerd. Nerd culture is popular culture now. But when we were young, being a nerd wasn't cool. You could really get hurt being a nerd in a city. Luckily, I got humor, and I'm making mention of this guy being a nerd because nobody wanted to date us nerds. You know who wanted to date us nerds? Other nerds. And why would I want to talk to you now when you didn't want to talk to me then? It's not my fault that you couldn't see through me using a beaker and being a A+ student in chemistry class and using words like precipitants. It ain't my fault that you was looking at me like I was a fucking lame. You raggedy bitch. These hoes mad now. That's your fault, bitch. Should have had forward thinking. That's what the fuck you get.
Look at that. 324 grams. Just over 324 grams of pure gold. That's about 10.5 ounces. And here we have it, our fresh, clean shot. Gorgeous. Well, now I can take that shot and I can create or measure, take a proper weight here, and that's what we have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a fresh, beautiful 10-ounce gold bar. So I have my melt dish ready, my mold is all set, and here we go. We'll melt this gold down. Look at that, nice and clean, beautiful, and we'll get in a nice pour here. All right. Beautiful.
For dudes who's saying that's not creepy, fellas, the creepy part is ask your woman, because most of my audience is people in relationships. I be looking at my analytics. Ask your woman. She should be kicking it with you. And fellas, please don't be a jerk. Your woman can, I hope your woman has knowledge. I mean, goddamn, is she just beautiful? That's these beautiful for nothing bitches. You should be kicking it with your woman and asking her, yo, would girls like a dude? And she'd be like, nigga, fuck yes. What? I don't give a fuck if you in the fucking laboratory, nigga. You call your studio the laboratory now. Let this be your fucking laboratory. And you in there doing that. You cooking up $20,000. Nigga, sure. Watch. I played this because it's creepy that women think niggas like us want them. Ew. Gross, bitch. You're not even intelligent enough for me to fuck. Well, you do got a fatty. We're men at the end of the day. I mean, goddamn, we will fuck you. But like, consistently? Well, we would probably fuck you consistently too, probably. But marry you? Well, niggas probably would marry you, but stay faithful to you? Absolutely fucking not.
We'll get some nice ripples going. Perfect. Alright. Gorgeous bar, gorgeous pour. And here we go. I gotta be very careful with it. It's still super hot, and I could scratch it very easily, so I gotta be super, super careful. But let's cool it down here. Alright. And with that, I'm ready to set up the bench so I can start marking this bar. Alright, and here we go. This part's a little nerve-wracking. I'm always a bit nervous and high-strung while I'm doing the marks. I don't want to scratch the bar. It's so soft. The slightest little touch can create a nasty little mark. Plus, I want to get the stamps positioned perfectly. I want them to look as perfect as possible. So I go through. Here we go. Take a quick examination here. Beautiful. We'll slap it on the scale just to make sure she's 10 ounces. Perfect. Alright. Nice. Alright, I'm getting the certificate of authenticity ready here. This is my promise that it is what I say it is. 3/9 fine plus pure gold. Beautiful. I slap the sticker on here, and there we have it. Lithic's 6th 10-ounce gold bar. Gorgeous. I hope you like it.
That's all I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. We're on a road to 15,000. We hope you come back and watch the next show.